Is your child throwing a big tantrum when it comes to reading, or even worse, when it comes to very important activities like academic work at home, like homework or studying for a test? Are you in a battleground with your child when it comes to academic work, and your child is just refusing to cooperate, and your child says he or she hates reading, hates academic work, hates anything to do with books? Well, I'm Supriya, and I am a special education teacher. I have been in this field of special education for more than 12 years. Currently, I'm also the founder of the Empowered Parenting Hub. I would try to help you citing an example from my own life, from the kind of taking a particular case where I worked with a student who was pretty stubborn and who just refused to do anything to do with academic work or anything to do with reading or spelling, anything to do with books or academics. So this student, when she was enrolled into my intervention program, academic intervention program, was very stubborn. She would throw tantrums. She would refuse to write, saying that her hands were aching, her fingers were hurt, and she didn't want to write. And that within a 1 hour class, within 20 minutes, she'll say, I'm done and I don't want to do anything further than this. I'm bored. So initially, it was a big battle for me because I couldn't figure out how to get her to do, because I knew it was important for her to do. The school was putting pressure on her and her parents that she needed to improve, that her skills were not adequate to the school's expectations. All these things were there. And here was this young girl in her third grade, not willing to cooperate, just saying, I said she hated all these things. So I was wondering what to do. After a couple of sessions with a long, with a lot of whining from her side and a lot of forcing from my side, I decided that, okay, for a short while, I'm not going to force anything. I am just going to allow her to talk because she loved talking. So I told her, okay, before we start the sessions, I will give you 5 minutes for you just to express yourself. You can talk on any topic that you want. So that I thought it'll be a good way to first of all warm up to the session before right away starting with, whatever was to be done. So then, yes, this worked like wonder because the first 5 minutes was given her time. It was like her special time that she could express herself, she could express whatever she wanted to speak. That's when I began to notice and realize that she had wonderful lot of interest in her life. She had, she was passionate about baking. She had just started baking. She's loved doing simple cooking. She was good in singing. She liked to write songs. And I was like, wow, she's a very talented girl, just having a small difficulty here. So then I came up with the kind of, what we can say, a compromise, saying that, fine, I know that you don't like all these things, but you're passionate about other interests like baking or singing and dancing. Why not we do one thing? Why not we connect your interest to activities? For instance, like she had to write a short composition, which was definitely expected in school that she had to be good in writing composition. So I told, let's do one thing. For you to get practice in composition, let's take a topic of your interest, like baking, how I started baking, what is it that I love about music, or when did I start to, learn music. It could be anything, but of your interest. She was excited. She said, fine, let me do that. Then I noticed that because I was connecting activities to her interest, she was much more compliant. She had a lot of ideas to the topic. So then I realized, okay, it was just that, one thing I learned here is it's not just about straight away getting an activity with your child, whether it is a reading activity, whether it's a homework activity, but to understand your child also, to understand their interests also. And this can work like magic, wherein which your child is doing things, complying with you and doing the activities that has to be completed, but with areas of their interest, right? So ultimately it's about skill building. So you can build skill on any topic, right? So then I started doing this for many tasks also. For instance, suppose I wanted her to convert a complete passage into a past tense form or into a future tense form. I would create a passage of her interest, like so and so was very interested in gardening, or so and so was interested in singing. She loved singing. She started. So I would create a passage in the present tense, but belonging to her topic of interest, and she would convert to a past tense. So then I noticed, yes, this was beginning to work very, very well. So yes, this lesson I learned it as in when I started working with her. So I would even encourage you that if your child is not cooperating with you, first of all, pay attention to your child. That itself works wonder, because the child then starts feeling, yes, my parent is listening to me, my parent is taking interest in what I want to talk about. So let your child express whatever they want to express, whether it's an interest, whether it's a problem in school, whatever it is. Let your child start expressing that. Listen to your child. And if you find something coming up out of that, like your child is feeling anxious about something is happening in school, you can of course begin to address that. And also you can use that as an activity wherein which you are talking about how your child became confident, and connect that particular topic to an activity. Like in this case, I connected her interest in singing or baking to converting a sentence into a past tense form, and used her interest as a sentence. You can do the same thing, wherein which you are connecting the activity to your child's area of interest, and you will see a lot of changes happening in your child's level of compliance in the interactions you're having with your child. You can use the same thing even in not just homework or academic work, but also in reading activities. Like I always insist that you must read your child. You can do the same strategy. You can use the same strategy even in reading storybooks. For instance, you can pick up books which are somewhere connected to child's interest. I'm sure you will find those books as well. You can do one more trick that works. It has worked wonders when I have worked with my students, is that pick up a story, convert the main character's name to a child's name. Like, once upon a time there lived a princess. I'm just giving example. There lived a princess named Cinderella. Okay, just change that Cinderella to your child's name, because every child loves to hear their name as the main hero or the main heroine of any story. Convert that main character's name, change it to your child's name, and you will see a lot of magic happening there, because now the child is a hero of the story. Now your child is now facing those difficulties, and surpassing those difficulties and triumphing and becoming successful. You will see a lot of change in the way your child is in coming towards reading sessions, in the way your child is also sitting for academic activities. So use these two strategies. One is changing, when in reading sessions, change the name of the hero or the heroine to your child's name. See the magic happen there. And when it comes to academic sessions, connect your child's interest to an activity. You will see a lot of changes there happening. Okay. Now you might say, okay, in schoolwork, there is no connection, if they're giving something else, it's fine. You can, before, prior to doing the school's work, suppose school's work is like, there is a rigid sentence and the child has to convert to a past tense form. As a practice session, you can do this, right? I'm sure you cannot, I know that you cannot, use the same strategy when it comes to actual homework, but you can do it when you're practicing with your child, when you're getting your child to learn the concept. You can use these strategies. Slowly, when the child is gotten the concept, understood the strategy, and understood the, and gotten the skill, then you can use the same, you can incorporate your, the school work, and get your child to do the work as well. Because by now your child is confident also, your child has also picked up the skill that is required from that activity. And the child is now confident to do that activity. So once your practice sessions have been completed using these formulas that I mentioned to you, you can then replace that particular, activity with the schoolwork, because by now your child is more confident in doing that schoolwork also. Because many times what happens is children refuse to do A because they want to talk, they want to feel heard. B, they're not very confident in doing those tasks. So this particular strategy actually helps to address all those issues, confidence issues and interest issues also. So yes, try this method and let me know in the comment box what were your reflections. So until my next video, you all have a great day. Bye-bye.